Hello and good evening. I'm Victoria Weather Meteorologist Ryan Henning, and I am here with a forecast for Hanford, California. For those that don't know where Hanford is, got my finger on it right there. So here's Monterey Bay, San Francisco, and it's down by Fresno and Visalia. And what's really important in the region, if we're talking about the weather, are the Sierra, the Sierra Nevada. I almost called them the Sierra Madre, but those are in Mexico. So like I said, the big thing for the Hanford area for the next couple of days to begin the work week is more going to be warm temperatures than precip or anything like that. So let's take a look at what's going on there now. Hanford's a relatively small airport, so I'm sorry, it's kind of, we had to zoom in to get it to show up on the map. But it's 75 degrees right now, clear skies. Just to the east in Visalia, it's 81. It's 78 off to the west. I'm not sure what reporting station that is. But it's a pretty warm night. But skies are clear, so it's going to cool off fairly considerably, and I won't make you look at that again. It's dew point's around 53 degrees, so that should allow it to cool off rather significantly. Taking a look at the satellite imagery, we can see, I'm talking to Anthony Dunkel, the other meteorologist on the site, there's just a few isolated clouds over the higher terrain. And really, honestly, most of that is just the higher tops of the mountains showing up on satellite, which is generally based on temperatures that it's reflecting off of. So higher top clouds reflect brighter because it's colder the further up you get. So same thing with mountains. The higher the mountain, the colder it's going to show up, the brighter it's going to look on the satellite imagery. So one thing I did want to show you, we're just going to look at the NAM because I like to use my good friend John DeYoung's weather animator. And there was a recent change with the National Weather Service's model output. So the GFS doesn't show up, so we're just going to look at the NAM. There's not a whole lot going on. You can see pretty much west of the Mississippi River. There's not really anything to speak of for the next few days. We do have a tropical feature down here by the Baja Peninsula, but really nothing to speak of in California. So let's rewind it back to the beginning. Initially, we're going to have a pretty stout area of high pressure over the Intermountain West. That's eventually going to start to break down. And what's going on with that is we'll switch over to the WRF so we can look at our wind barbs. So keep an eye, if you can, on this area. So that's where our mountains are again. And moving forward, we're going to rock back first. And moving forward, during the afternoon, you're going to start to see some of those westerlies filling into the valley. And that's going to mechanically heat things up. That's why it's going to be up over 100 tomorrow in the Central Valley, Fresno, Visalia, Hanford, all those cities. But as we continue moving forward, we'll see that high pressure begin to break down. There's still going to be some over the Central Rockies, but it's not going to build west over the Wasatch or the Great Basin. So it's going to be a little bit less windy over Hanford. And by less windy, I mean less windy with easterlies. So we're going to see a more vigorous westerly flow. That's going to be onshore flow. There might be a few mid-level clouds that will also help to put a damper on all the potential for higher temperatures. Distracted myself there. I've got a temperature tomorrow of 102, and that's going to be warmer than what it'll be on Tuesday, but that's still going to be the mid to upper 90s. Most of the other outlets are following suit. Forecast.io is a little bit warmer. They're up almost near 110 tomorrow. But I think the important thing to note is that it's going to be very hot. It's going to be dry. So keep yourself hydrated if you're living in Central California. But it looks like it's going to be cooling off a little bit. And if nothing else, it's mid-September. So this can't possibly last too much longer if you're not a fan of the blazing heat in Central California. But that's going to do it for me tonight. I hope you are having a good time or had a good weekend, and we'll have a good week ahead. Again, I'm Victoria Weather Meteorologist Ryan Henning, and have a great night.